morning and welcome to this morning's reflection. And I'm glad that we begin the morning together. Yesterday, we spent some time looking at the invitation to love and the invitation that comes to us through enchantment, through beauty, through romance. And today, we look at the opposite side, perhaps, of the same coin. The opposite side being affliction. You see, there are only two things that pierce the heart. One is beauty, and the other is affliction. There is beauty in the world, so much of it. But we all know that there is also affliction. In Psalm 91, the psalmist says, God will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and your rampart. You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrows that fly by day. We cannot deny that the arrows of life have struck us and have wounded us. Each and every one of us have been wounded in some way and will continue to be wounded. But we all have to decide at some point what to do with the arrows, what to do with these arrows that we have known. However they have come to us through loss, or through abandonment, or deep violation, the message is always the same. Affliction says to you, kill your heart, divorce your heart, neglect your heart, run from your heart. And if you can't do any of those, indulge your heart. Anything to stop the pain. How have you handled the afflictions of your own heart? How did these arrows come to you? Where did they land? Are they still there? Is the wound still festering? What have you done with your arrows? We often feel ambushed by our arrows. They come at us from all directions and often unexpectedly. And so our response is not usually rational. It is a gut response, a response around a feeling that we can't even put into words. Our deepest convictions are often formed without conscious effort. But their effect is a shift deep in our souls. And often our arrows are the places where our convictions are formed. We decide never to be in such a position again. Never to go down that road again. And often the result is an approach to life that we call our personality. And our lives are shaped by the unique arrows that we have known. and the particular convictions that we have embraced as a result. The arrows taint and partially direct our spiritual lives. As Christians, we might find the sense of being part of God's bigger story at first a delight and adventure. But as time passes, we notice that story begins to drain away, and instead of a love affair with God, life begins to feel like a series of repetitive behaviors. Our orthodoxy is no longer satisfying. And so it seems that the head and the heart begin two separate journeys. Eventually, the division between the head and the heart culminates in one of two directions. We either deaden the heart, or we divide our lives into two compartments. The outer life becomes the life of the shoulds, and the inner life the theatre of our needs. The place where we quench the thirst of our heart with whatever water we can find. Whatever path we choose, heart deadness or head and heart separation, the arrows win and the heart loses. In every way that enchantment and romance are full of beauty and wonder, the arrows are equally powerful in their ugliness and devastation. The romance promises a life of wholeness through deep connection with God, and the arrows deny it, telling us, "You're on your own. There's no romance. No strong and kind God is coming to be with you." The romance says the world is benevolent, and the arrows mock our naivety, warning us that disaster is just a moment away. Romance invites trust, and the arrows intimidate us into self-reliance. So which is the true message? If we hang on to romance, what are we to do with our awful tragedies? How do we keep the heart alive? We can deny the wounds. We can deny part of the heart and end up living in a shallow optimism. If we embrace the arrows as the final word on life, we despair, which is another way of losing heart. When we lose hope, the heart dies. We need someone to reconcile our greatest longings with our greatest fears. It is God who invites us into intimacy, an intimacy that draws enchantment and pain together, where we can hold the tension of joy and confusion, mourning and hope, patience and spontaneity, conviction and careless love, where we can live with confidence that the arrows are indeed not the final word. And tomorrow we will look at that larger story that is for us healing. Amen.